Alright everybody, it looks like we are ready to go for the Spyro Reignited Trilogy Spyro 200% run. Spyro 200% run, and Bobby will be our commentator.
Alright, thank you very much, Nick. My name is BobbyBill. I run SRT as well as DrHouse, who is actually running it for us. He's running Spyro 200%, as Zick said. It is quite an interesting run, actually, so I'm actually quite excited. Well, excited to have House show it. If you're, I guess, familiar with OG 200%, I guess you might kind of have an understanding of how this run's going to go. But if you caught Green Souls 120% earlier in the marathon, it's not quite the same as 120%. Obviously, it's a full complete, but we're going to go about it a little bit differently. I guess I'm ready. Oh well, I think House is ready, so I guess I'll count him down. I assume he's ready. I'll do like a 3, 2, 1, go, and then we'll do it on go. Yep, he's ready. So that's confirmation. So 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So as mentioned, it's a pretty interesting run, this full category. It's not kind of as traditional as, well, you'll see. We're going to see basically right at the beginning, House is just going to run past a lot of things. And the reason why is, basically it's kind of like an 80%, but with extra steps. We're basically just going to try and rush all the way to Ripto. As mentioned, if you're familiar with OG Spyro 200%, the reason why is because of Fireball. But not only are we going to get Fireball, but we're also going to get a little strat called level storage. And level storage, I guess I'll try and explain it as we kind of get closer to it. But basically, it's going to speed up a lot of the movement and a lot of the picking up the gems and a lot of the orbs. But yeah, with this run, basically there's about 10,000 gems to collect. Yeah, 10,000 gems to collect in this game, and there's 64 orbs. On top of the 64 orbs, we're also getting 14 talismans. The talismans we need to get into Gulp, I believe. But yeah, as you see here, we're going to be missing a lot of gems. House is going to be getting some of the side gems here and there that are kind of out of the way, just so obviously he doesn't pick them up later. But a lot of the levels we're going to be revisiting, especially the first like talisman levels, basically. But as we sort of get past Gulp, that's when we're going to have level storage, and we're going to be kind of, well, 100% of the levels at that point, and then revisiting later on. But yeah, that was Glimmer. It went pretty quick. As mentioned, it's kind of like an 80% right now. It's not exactly the same as an 80%, because, like I said, we are kind of getting those gems that are kind of out of the way as well. But now entering Colossus, another level that we're going to do pretty quick, with the exception of we're also going to do Hockey, so we're going to get that done nice and early. One nice thing about doing Hockey early, I suppose, if you're in a speed run setting, is Hockey's definitely one of those orbs that you'll be resetting on quite a lot. There's a bit of RNG mixed in with it, so fortunately we kind of get out of the way with nice and early. But hopefully House smashes it. First thing we're going to see here is we're going to see House doing a statue jump, skipping basically that whole beginning bit where we're going to have to kill their enemies. Means we can sort of skip doing that, and also obviously run straight to the end. So as mentioned, normally I guess in an 80% at least, speed up kind of the end of the level because this is where we get the talisman. But we're going to get some of the gems around here, and then we're also going to get the Hockey part done. So as mentioned, just going to get all these gems here by the ice. Since obviously we don't want to revisit this kind of block area when we do Colossus again later on in the level. But as mentioned, Hockey has some pretty annoying RNG to it. The guy who like hits the puck can either hit it one way or the other, and you kind of have to judge by where he's placed and where the puck is, like where it's gonna hit it or if he's gonna hit it. It kind of is RNG based, but sometimes it will go in front of him and you just won't hit it, and you're kind of going to the left and you're like, wait, what? As mentioned, it's a very reset heavy kind of part. I'm sure House has done plenty of these. It's probably sick hockey by now, but I'm glad to see a lot of hockey hype in the chat. Yep, so doing hockey, there's 2 orbs involved. I think this is like the only category we actually do hockey in. It's 100. I don't think we do it in 4 orb. I think we do it on the console, 4 orb. 4 orb being like an 80% kind of category. So it's cool to see some hockey representation. As mentioned, that's the first orb. So we're going to go get the second orb now, which is basically you've got like a teammate as well, and you've got like someone else on the field who's trying to block you. Same again, really, just getting the puck and just shooting it straight at the goal. House has done this a million times by now, so he's got it programmed in his brain exactly how to do it. He's doing a good job of that too. So yeah, nice and simple really. You just want to keep that guy out of the way. He's not normally a problem. He's normally pretty easy to get around, even casually, like you shouldn't really have problems with the guy. That's his name, by the way, the guy. So yeah, just basically clearing up this this minigame. It's not really the very beginning, that's kind of the toughest part, the more RNG heavy part, I suppose. And that is hockey, everyone's favourite minigame. As mentioned, exiting Colossus now, so we're going to revisit it later on, but it just basically means we have to go back to that kind of area again when we do have level storage. Again, I'll kind of explain what level storage is, I suppose, as we're kind of getting closer to it. I don't want to spoil it too much for anyone who's unaware of what it is. But yeah, it definitely changes the game quite a bit. But yeah, now we're going to kind of make our way towards the Hunter minigame, I believe? Unless I'm wrong, I might have misremembered. No, I've misremembered. We're going to Idle. I swear I know the run. I wasn't sure. I'm going to mix up with 40 up. You can blame me. So Idle's a pretty... It's not a huge amount to say with Idle. It's kind of like, I guess the best way Randy described it earlier today, it's kind of like an auto scroller. We're basically rescuing these little like green men, the workers, from these enemies, I guess I'll call them. I don't know, it's exciting. And then you're just kind of waiting for them to hit the door, the lock on it, and it takes a little bit of time before the door actually opens. So it's a little auto-scrollery in that sense. So it's just trying to pick up as many gems as possible before he opens the door. And then again, we're going to revisit this level anyway, so it's nice to get some of these gems that are kind of out of the way, nice and, well, collected, I guess. Also, worth mentioning, we kind of saw earlier there was like a Zoe in a room. It's kind of got like you got like caught by the dialogue. This second one, there's another Zoe up in this room. If we jump around the room at a certain angle, we should be able to skip her dialogue. So you're gonna see House kind of gliding. Oh no! Oh no! It's 100. I keep getting it's 100. Okay, no, we need the gems, so never mind. We ain't skipping that dialogue. But it's fine. It's pretty quick dialogue anyway. And then we're just making our way towards the talisman. So we're just gonna get these gems on the side before we talk to him, and then we're gonna go up the stairs, grab some of the gems there. That just again just out of the way, just so they're nice and collected. So we don't have to come here again. And it's nice and ready now for when we come back to do it the second time. So yeah, we're basically just plowing through these levels at the moment, just as fast as we can. We want to get level storage as quick as possible. We want to get viable as quick as possible, and then we're going to revisit all these levels and do it a lot quicker. It turns out to be a lot quicker than manually, you know, I say manually, but doing the levels normally. And then instead of just coming back to them, especially with the help of the guidebook. But here's the Hunter orb. So for the most part, we are skipping most of the orbs too, but some of them like this, level storage isn't really going to help, viable isn't really going to help. It's literally right there, so we're going to do it now. And then I believe we are also going to buy Swim. This is the first thing we're buying. And again, just collecting some of the gems that are out of the way, wherever. We don't have to kind of revisit those corners again, if that makes sense. Okay, so next level now, we'll be coming up into Harakos. Harroghost actually has some pretty like awful orbs in my opinion in it. Notably the Fiefs one, the like electric ball Fiefs. Fortunately, in this category, we're not going to do it now. We're going to do it on a revisit, but see you later. Kind of cheeser is really nice because I'm not a big fan of this level personally. But again, very much in 80% style. We're going to be going out of bounds here, but then we're going to quickly collect this orb as well. And then we'll be doing this sort of second one later on when we revisit. Again, kind of grabbing the gems, so we don't have to go back in this room again. A little trick there, as we saw, those that electric fence. Normally you're supposed to put like a light bulb, I guess, in the door. Fortunately, there's kind of a trick in the game where all you have to do is angle your camera. There's two places you can camera. If you angle it in a specific way, the electric actually vanishes. It's a very well play tested game, but so doing that, we're allowed to manipulate the game. And able to pass through it, being obviously a lot quicker. And now we're entering Sunny Beach. Sunny Beach, I believe we're not getting any orbs in this. We're going to just grab some of the upper gems here right in the beginning, and then just again kind of rushing through it for the most part. So yeah, some of the enemies in this actually really suck, especially the electric rod guys. But as you see, House is kind of flaming this turtle here. This is because he's going to use it to sort of clip through. You actually got to spat out there, but this turtle allows us to sort of clip through it if we can get at a right angle, and this allows us to just kind of skip straight to the end of the level. House is actually kind of getting a little bit unlucky with it. It can be a pain in the ass, so. Yeah, this turtle is not being friendly. There we go, you got it. Nice. So, yep, clipping outside the level here, allowing us to take us straight to the end of the level. Again, getting the talisman nice and quick, so we can revisit later. Especially going to be a lot easier this level with the fireball. The permanent fireball, I should say. What version of the game? It's the current patch, believe it or not. Yeah, it's a good game. But yeah, that was Sunny Beach. Again, just kind of rushing through a lot of these levels. And then we're going to kind of make our way towards Aquaria. No, Ocean, I think, actually. Yeah, we're doing Ocean Speedway. Okay, never mind. So Ocean Speedway is actually a pretty cool level. We've got some pretty cool movement here. The Speedway is actually really quite tough on Spyro 2. So it's very easy to kind of miss something on here because it's very fast. Like you'll notice in charge dropping quite a lot. That's because the charge speed is also like quite fast. So you'll be seeing him kind of dropping quite often when just normally flying. It turns out to be quicker that way. But kind of doing this in a strange looking order, I know. Not the intended order of the game, but this is obviously the fastest route to do it. But what's really cool about this level as well is the hunter, at least in my opinion. With the way we kind of get the rings. But here we are, seeing him sort of drop down as he's moving forward. And really well done. That was a really nice first part, at least, of the Speedway. Very solid. So now moving on to the Hunter, which again we are normally supposed to sort of follow Hunter in this, kind of like get the rings in like that order, I guess. But House knows a bit of a better order, I suppose. He knows exactly which ones to get and when. So see, House is kind of going out his way to grab some of the side ones, which you aren't normally supposed to get as early. but because he's a fast boy, he can do that. Yeah, a lot of like cool like drops, I guess, as you kind of saw earlier then. There we are, now just clearing up basically the final rings. Again, pretty solid. A really solid Ocean Speedway overall, I'd say. Yep. So yeah, that's Ocean Speedway. Next we'll be making our way towards Aquaria Towers, which has a pretty cool trick in it, I suppose. A cool exploit. But of course, getting this orb is again it's much quicker. It's basically on the way. A lot of the stuff we're getting right now is just, like I said, just off the way. It's just in our face. The ones that are kind of out of the way slightly, which we don't want to go back to twice. Making of course the revisits a lot quicker. Especially when we're doing sort of Summer Forest again, in general, with the level storage. But yeah, Aquaria, I guess since OG, where you can kind of skip straight to the end, we also have a little trick in SRT. There's kind of invisible pixel here that we can stand on. And House got it first try, that was really sick. So it's very, very thin pixel that we can stand on. And it's very tough to kind of get it perfectly like that, but House of course smashes it. Again, jumping to the top. Again, this game was play tested, believe it or not. I don't know by who. I don't know if he still works, but but yeah. Thankfully, someone found a little pixel there. I managed to get straight to the end. Again, in an any percent fashion. So, of course, we're gonna have a lot to do next time we revisit Aquaria, but it's a pretty big level, so having level storage helps. And yeah, and now we're entering the first boss of the game. Now, this boss has some kind of interesting features of it. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to take damage on purpose. It's a lot quicker to take damage because Crush is going to start moving as soon as you take damage. So, as opposed to like him doing like a hit and then another hit and then another hit or whatever and then moving, it makes sense for him to take the hits. And then what happens then also is we're gonna have like sheep drop. Have sheep drop. That's really interesting. I don't know what happened there. Did he like... Okay, normally what happens is you take damage on the first one. I guess he didn't take damage. He got kind of like hit back. That's really weird. But yeah, the sheep drops on this, you can actually kind of manipulate it by standing in a certain spot. But if you get 2 sheep or less, sheep will drop throughout the fight. That's what you want. Unfortunately, he got 3 sheep here, but I think it's still fine anyway because he managed to do whatever he did there. Maybe that's a strat, and I just don't know. That's really interesting. Yeah, as you see here, just taking hits now. Should have enough health. We'll have no sparks by the end of this, but it's fine. Because again, otherwise what will happen is it will just keep doing shots, and then, yeah, it's a lot slower. But yeah, that's the fight. No meatballs, unfortunately, in SRT. Just flat tiles. I know. Yeah, nice and quick. Crush is pretty simple. There isn't really a huge amount to say about Crush, other than, I suppose, kind of damage abuse minipping there. But normally, it's pretty simple. And straight away, we're going straight to Crystal Glacier. So there's some kind of interesting things about this level. I just want to remember if you do it in 100 or not. But I guess we'll be collecting the first few gems here. See if he gets a quick cutscene this time. Nice, you got it. So normally what happens when you flame the third guy is it kind of goes to a black screen and then it talks to him. But if you stand in a certain spot, as he did there, you kind of get the dialogue box that come up earlier than it's supposed to. So yeah, getting some nice convenient fodder there to obviously Make it a little bit easier getting the gems here. You'll notice he's not flaming these ice. I don't know what's called. Yeah, I guess like ice. What was I saying? Cavemen or whatever. I don't know. I guess I'm cavemen. Fortunately, because there's a torch there, we can just jump on. So normally, what happens is you'd have to rescue them and they would boost you up. But we can just jump on the torch. It's a lot quicker. Saves the cutscene. But yeah, running along the perimeter here just to grab all the gems as fast as we can as well. Clearing these dudes because they can be in the way. And then paying off money bags. I know it's sad having to pay them off, but. Because hey, there's an interesting strat on this level, but obviously we're not doing 100, so wasn't sure it was worth mentioning or not. Yeah, now just finishing off this level, getting these guys. Interesting thing about a little firework ball at the end. Normally, what would happen is you get hit off of the fireworks or the fire bars, I guess. But as we flame the third guy, you can actually kind of damage the beast for it. We've got a gem without taking a hit. Yep, just getting a talisman and leaving nice and early. Again, kind of a running theme for the first like 30 minutes of this run. Get a talisman, leave. We'll come back later. And yes, believe it or not, this is 100%. Despite us missing so much stuff. Trust me, it's faster. Okay, so getting all these like little awkward gems again, like I said, that was kind of in the way. And now entering the second speedway, which is Metro Speedway. Again, this is a really cool one. That if done fast, it's really sick. Kind of making a lot of use of like the charging and stuff. I'm sure House will smash it for us. Yeah, jumping on these like just nicely placed enough distance enough pillars just to charge and just keep charging off them. It's a really cool movement. Again, charging into that pigeon there, don't even need to flame it. Before we get these kind of tightrope guys. Yeah, House definitely showing off his flight abilities here. This is a really sick metro. He showed it off perfectly. That was really nice. 48.4. That's pretty sick. Nice. And again, as with all the speedways, we've got a little side mission here. A little bit of a bunk there. RNG manipulation, perfectly done. Yeah, for this like side game, we gotta get like money bags. These like cat thieves, or whatever they are, raccoons. But I believe it's scripted exactly where they're going. I don't think there's like any RNG in it, so House knows exactly where they lead. Could be wrong. But for the most part, it's pretty simple though. It's just you don't want to go too fast, as you saw there. We almost kind of missed that one there, but it's very easy to go ahead too much. If you're not careful, so it's harder than it looks, I guess. Yeah, I said the same thing, Green. It's like I didn't want to reveal too much about it until I suppose we get to it. Because again, if you're familiar with Spyrothon 100% on OG, it is similar in that we're kind of rushing towards the end. But obviously you're going for Fireball in OG, whereas this, you are getting Fireball, but you're also getting something else too. All you know is Gulp. Well, you won't really know Gulp in 100. In fact, thankfully, Gulp isn't really much of an issue in 100, as we'll see when we get closer to him. But yeah, that was an insane metro, by the way. That was sick. But now, yeah, entering Skelos. So, I believe, basically, we're just going straight to this house. So normally you'd have to run through the entire level. Thankfully, I want to say fourthly. Thankfully, there's we can wall glide in this game. I guess similar again to OG. You can only do it on PC though, interestingly. But yeah, we can wall glide, so we can just skip straight to the end of the level instead of having to run right through it. And again, just leaving straight away. Leaving a lot of stuff to second visits. The run really begins when we sort of get past Gulp, as you'll see soon enough. Very soon enough. Yeah, next level next level now is Breeze. Again, we can kind of jump onto a window in this level and basically just jump on top of like this, the wall bit where the trolley is. Unfortunately, unlike an OG, we can't pick up the cogs. We have to be in the cart, but we can still use it to skip straight towards the end of the level. But yeah, again, it's grabbing all these gems so we don't have to pick them up again. Using this window again, a little slight pixel there. I say a pixel, it's a bit more than that, but pretty hard platforming to get up there. Again, like I said, you can't get these cogs, unfortunately. We're gonna have to do the trolley, unfortunately. But it's fine. Again, it's going straight to the balloon here. The ship. Just lighting these torches to lift it before we can then talk to the guy who gives us a talisman. Just trying to remember if we do any more after this. Okay, no, yeah, never mind, it does end there. I do know the category, I swear. Okay, so now I believe we're going to go get Climb. So it's basically the first ability. No, sorry, the second ability will begin. The first one being Swim. So climbing, we'll see if he does it actually. There's some kind of interesting mechanics to it with the way it works. Like you get kind of stuck to the wall, but you can actually fast climb in this game. If you hold back while climbing, it takes Spyro off the ladder. Yep, as you'll see here. Normally you kind of get stuck to the ladder until you, I guess, you hold back. But if you hold back while climbing, we didn't do it too much there, unfortunately. But you can kind of come off the ladder and then you can aim Spyro back onto the ladder, and it turns out to be a lot quicker. You can climb really fast if you do it like that. But it's a very tricky movement to get the hang of. But now we're entering Scorch. This is a really interesting level when we revisit it. Again, in any percent fashion, we're basically just gonna do this jump here, which is actually really easy to make. Even like, I reckon even casual players could probably make that jump without too much of a trouble. Yeah, getting all these gems first. Normally this is like at the end of the level. We'll get as many gems as we can. Again, we're gonna sort of run back through that area anyway. I know we missed the 2 gem there, but again, we're gonna come back and go through that area when we do the final Bob part. I think it's Bob, is that his name? Bombo? Bombo or Bob? I can't remember which one's which. One's OG and one isn't. But yeah, lifting down this bridge now, because unfortunately we can't actually get over it until I guess we find a way. I don't think there was a way, unfortunately. Just again racing towards Greta here. He'll give us the talisman. Very similar to any percent, just basically making sure we pick up more gems. And nice and easy, too easy. So yep, that was Scorch. And then next, I believe we're going to be entering Scotland, or as some may call it, Fracture Hill. But we know it as Scotland here because that's really what this is. Everyone's favourite level. Actually, quite a tough level. I guess casually, I'd say. I think like a lot of people come back to this level with Fireball naturally, anyway. Mainly because of the I can't remember what they're called, the Earth somethings. You know who I mean, the enemies in this. The Earth Golems or something. But yeah, just gonna go through it, basically collecting gems as much as we can, and freeing up these Shapers. Earth Shapers, there it is. I was close, I knew it was Earth something. No one remembers the enemy names in this. You don't need to, it's not a part of the run. But yeah, again, I know I said it, I sound like a broken record, but similar to 80%, just kind of making our way towards the talisman as quickly as we can, of course, going out a little bit to go for some gems here and there. to each other. True. There's a lot to remember, damn it. Yeah, freeing now the final guy, which will allow us to enter this last room that'll have the talisman in it. Yeah, it's definitely a pretty interesting level actually. Whoa. She is in the wrong place. So that's a thing that can happen. That's actually never happened to me before, but she was kind of standing in the wrong place there. I believe sometimes you can also stand inside the wall. It's a great game. I love it. I love this game. It's so perfect. Which I saw. I think happened to Nost like the last week, where one of the sapers just wasn't there. That's great. So now doing a little jump here. Normally we'd have to have orbs to make our way to Magma Cone. I can't remember the exact amount. It's about like 20-ish, somewhere around about. But we'd normally have to have orbs to open that door. Fortunately, we could just fly over, so we don't need that orb requirement. And of course, that's very helpful because we're not collecting as many orbs right now. We're collecting the odd one here and there, but for the most part, kind of missing them. House going for the climbers here, and he makes it. Holy moly, okay. House is popping off. So, right there, normally what we'd have to do is we'd have to climb up to the middle, like, cone, I guess. I can't stress how hard actually that trick is. That jump is not easy. So that was actually pretty sick that he just showed up right there. But that was climbers, the climbers way against this part. So that's pretty sick they showed that off. Definitely a very hard trick. So getting that first try, pretty insane. Again, exactly like any percent, you can do that trick. A lot of people don't because it's a very scary trick. It does save a good amount of time though. Can't remember exactly how much, like it's nearing like 10 seconds over the normal route. But yeah, he's insane. He is insane. I don't know if he does that in his PB either, so he'll probably save a lot of time over his PB. But yeah, nice showing off Magma there really quick. Before we now enter Shady Oasis, which, similar to Idol, is kind of an auto-scroller in a way, in that we're basically just following Shorty here throughout the level. Shorty being pretty interesting in that she'll stop in certain places, and you just have to remember those places where she stops, and then you just kind of have to be in that area where she stops for her to kind of resume. So so the game knows basically that you're following her through an escort there. But having Shorty, I guess, moving at the pace that she does, it allows us to grab a lot of the gems here anyway, which is quite nice. Obviously making it a little bit easier for when we revisit this level. So you'll see how sort of stopping every now and then. Again, just waiting for Shorty to catch up. Ooh, I don't think he got that tree. He didn't, but he noticed. That's good. Okay, so he did get it. Didn't really lose too much time. Again, it's not like it's kind of like hard to lose time, I guess, almost, because you saw there, Shorty only just kind of made it there anyway, so he probably did last like less than a second, or even half a second, probably from that. Which is, I guess, one nice thing about this level. Again, it really is just memorizing the sort of placements where Shorty stops. So yeah, as mentioned before, yeah, basically what we're doing now is we're just kind of 80% until we get Fireball, plus something else, which again, I'm going to kind of keep secret. Some people in chat know what it is, but I'm not worried about explaining it because I have no idea how to explain it. But it's not about explaining it, it's about what it is. That's what's important. But yeah, making our way towards the end here. Shady has been successfully escorted. Now getting the talisman for exiting. I should have mentioned, we didn't exit there technically, we actually guidebooked. The reason why we guidebook is because we're going to enter Zephyr now. It's a lot quicker to guidebook to Metro and then leave Metro than it is to run all the way back from Shady, as you can imagine. So again, grabbing these gems, having money bags, paying him 400 gems just to enter a level, that's tight. It's not even a good level. So Zephyr is pretty notorious, especially in 100%, mainly because of like a certain orb. Here shall not be mentioned. But as you saw here straight away, we went out of bounds instantly. It's actually a really cool level actually, outside of 100%. Because yeah, there's a lot of like out of bounds. There's a lot of like tricks where you're kind of skipping the game very unintentionally. House actually using the cannon here to open it up. For some reason, I'm trying to remember why. We can actually get into that room without having to blow up the. Oh, I know why. We can actually get into that room without blowing it up, and able to like clip through it. But the reason why I blow it up, I guess, is to one, to get through to this area quicker, and two, to get the chests that are in there as well. Yeah, grabbing all the gems here before we do everyone's favourite orb, which is Cowlix. We do this now because I don't believe level storage actually really helps towards it, and also because we can grab some of the other orbs that we need after this. So we get this done now. So yeah, I hope you got your snacks ready and your teas and your coffees, because for the most exciting orb, unfortunately. But as you can see here, this is the only ladder we can do this on. So I forgot to mention, you can actually just keep climbing up that ladder even though the ladder has ended. Again, I believe that's the only ladder in the game that lets you do that. But it allows us to skip straight towards the other Calyx here. Again, I believe we do this now as well because I think the fireball kind of can be kind of screwy, and the supercharge. Oh, I'm kind of giving away what's coming up in the run, but yeah, basically, it's better to do this now. As you can imagine, hence why we're doing it now. But yeah, Calyx can definitely suck. Sometimes you can flame in a certain area and they just kind of go miles up in the air and they bounce off walls and stuff. Also, of course, they have a mind of their own, so they just kind of walk around the place. That was actually pretty sick, so flaming into there. But we got quite lucky there, I think. But yeah, they can kind of walk out of the way and they can sort of go towards edges you don't want them to. And like I said, this is a very notorious orb right here, or two orbs, as you can imagine. But getting them actually pretty quick there. Again, struggling to get him through this tunnel because this game was just not designed to have Cowlix in it, but hey, here we are. Very similar to, I suppose, any other kind of like quest like this. Reminds me a bit of Ocarina of Time with the cuckoos. But yeah, did a pretty good job with it, I'd say. They can be a massive pain, these Cowlix. They're being a little bit of a pain here and there, but again, could definitely go kind of wrong. Don't mind you that. Trauma. Hey, this is worse, okay? At least you can pick them up in that game. This we have to just flame them and hope they go in a direction and not walk out of the way. Wow, this Calyx is not being very friendly, okay? That's an example of how they can be a bit of a pain in this game. So there's the first orb there, before we then finish off this orb, or the second orb, getting the best of the Calyx in a pen. But I guess it's nice getting this one done nice and early, because it is kind of a pain, to be honest. definitely an orb that can put a lot of people off of running 100. I know, it's a very interesting category, this 100, because it's very unlike 117 from Spyro 3, and especially 120. 120 is very straightforward. This 100 is a lot of going back and forward. And of course having like the orbs, like mini game kind of aspect to it as well, makes it very different. But now that we have all the talismans, the game will teleport us straight to the entrance of Gulp before we do Gulp. I believe he actually missed a pause there. I think that's what he's supposed to do. Yeah. So with Gulp, we're now gonna do a trick. Level source? Oh no, he did it on purpose. Okay, never mind. I thought he did that. But I was gonna say, I was like, that seemed very unlike him. Okay. Before we do Gulp, we're gonna get these gems. I was thinking, I was like, am I missing something? Yes, I was. So before we actually do Gulp, we're gonna use it to teleport here to grab these gems. And then I believe we're also doing Icy, actually. I think. Yeah, isn't there another speedway here? Yeah, there is another speedway here. Yeah, we're doing Icy. Okay, I remember now. I forgot a level. I was just trying to think, isn't there like another level there? There is. There is a reason why we do Icy as well as obviously the fact that we're 100%ing it later. To do with the level storage. It's kind of complicated to explain. And I can try my best, I guess, when we get towards level storage, but for now, we'll do Icy. Again, showing off some really cool flight movement. I'd say Spyro 2 has definitely got the best flight movement, or at least in terms of like visually, like it looks really cool. I unfortunately missed that Dragon Man there, but that's fine. Like a lot of like the charging and stuff is definitely a lot quicker than say Spyro 1. You go from Spyro 1 to Spyro 2 and the speed layers, and you're like, it's such a difference. Yeah, doing a mixture of like charging the enemies here and flaming them and getting that double there, which is pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. One second audio desync. Yeah, there might be a bit of a kind of a desync because I'm kind of watching for the stream, so it might be a bit delayed. So unfortunately, that's just how it is. But yeah, doing that level pretty solid. Before we're now doing the rings. Now these rings can kind of suck. Unfortunately, it's just like, you know, you can't really do it much faster or slower. The only like way you can do it slower, I guess, is if you fail it. So it's a bit of a sit back here. No crazy movements here. Just making sure we get the rings. It's very easy to kind of miss, especially one of the later ones, I believe. But again, kind of like a auto scroller here. Just getting it done, really. Before we then move on to Gulp. I suppose I can explain level storage a little bit here. So, we're going to be entering Gulp, but what we're going to be doing is instead of entering it, we're going to pause on the frame that the game thinks we're in the level. There's like a part of the game where it thinks we're in the level before it actually starts loading it. And we're going to pause on that frame, and then we're going to exit. And it's going to give us a loading screen, and on that loading screen it's either going to be purple or orange in the background. If it's purple, we're going to be spawning outside of Metro, and if it's orange, we're going to be spawning outside of Icy. The game will then play the cutscene for the level, for Gulp, but we'll still be in the game. Oh nice, you got it first frame. That's sick. And we're able to move. So you got Icy there, orange is Icy. So he's going to have to move himself into the Icy level without actually seeing the game. But he knows where it is, even blind. So he's going to go into Icy, he's going to leave Icy, and then he's going to skip the cutscene. And basically what that's going to do is it's going to give us the same movement as flight levels, but in the game. So we're going to be able to fly, and we're going to be able to use charge. And we're going to have this throughout the rest of the game. He didn't fly, which is perfect, so he's got it. There's also some interesting properties to level storage. Like if you interact with NPCs and such, you actually lose your like flight. But now we're re-entering here. So now we have level storage, and again, we're going to have this now for the rest of the run. As you see, there's a little time on the top right. That is because, like I said, the game thinks we're in a flight level right now, even though we're in the game. I believe there's like a limit to the flight timer, so if we go like 10 minutes, I think we end up like having to reset, and I think it ends up taking us back to flight. I could be wrong, but that's never an issue anyway. But yeah, basically now we yeah, where'd Gulp go? So as you saw that we didn't have to fight Gulp. He takes damage from supercharging, so that's really helpful for us. We're able to just supercharge him to death instead of going through the RNG, that is the egg drops. And what we're doing right now is there's a lot of tricks to go over. He did like a height cap, so there's like a trick in the game where if you use your analog and your D-pad at the same time, you can kind of go through the ceiling of the game, and we're able to utilize that to break into Ripto early. So that's how we do Ripto early there. Okay, there's a lot of tricks kind of back to back, so I'm trying to like rush through what they are. Zik actually has a really sick tutorial on it, so if you ever really want to look into it in detail, he's there. As Green mentioned, he did it in 120 earlier for the loot, basically skimmed through it. And now we're in Ripto. Normally this would be the end of the game, but obviously we're 100%. So we just want to get Ripto killed nice and early so that we can get Super Flame. Not Super Flame, sorry. Super Fireball. Fireball, that's the name of it. Super Fireball. House is waiting for a blue orb here. He got the blue orb, which is sick. So he's going to try and one phase Mecha Gulp here. Oh, he got it! He actually got it. Wow, okay, he just phase one Mecha Gulp. That was sick. So that's not an easy thing to do at all. That is incredibly tight. So you can basically do double hits on Mecha Gulp there. If you hit him on like a perfect frame, he ends up taking the damage but not doing the animation of getting hit. So you can get a second hit in, and he was able to chain them. It really isn't easy to do that. So to show that off, and I quick climb this in one run, this is actually like, this genuinely is like world record phase right now, probably. But yeah, that was phase one. Phase one, House really showing off his skills here. Taking us into the final phase of Ripto. A really good final phase actually as well. So that was a sick Ripto fight, actually, genuinely. So yeah, that was Ripto. Really quick. Yeah, just actually defeated him there. Ripto defeated, you say that again. So during that kind of load screen, he's actually able to move for a bit, and he's able to go out of bounds during that kind of load screen there, and get the fireball. So again, really quick, just grabbing it there. So now Spyro's unstoppable right now. He's a beast. He has supercharge, he has flight, and he has fireballs. So this is where the run begins. Right now we're 100%ing it. So other than like the hub worlds, where obviously we're going to be grabbing stuff incrementally as we're going through the levels, we're now going to be 100% in the levels, I believe. I don't think there's any other ones we kind of do once. No, I'm pretty sure we go through it. So now we're going to go ahead and start off with robotic farms. Yeah, this is where the run begins. So we're going to be getting like everything. So starting off here with the pumpkins, this is normally what we do at like the very end level. But as mentioned, he has flight. I believe as soon as he talks to the guy who gives him the orb, I think he loses flight. I could be wrong. Again, there's some interesting properties with level storage. The flight that you have, you can lose it, and then the way to get it back is to like die. Yeah, I think he's lost it now. So he's able to. He jumps now into the flying. So because of that, we have some kind of an interesting routing where we kind of do areas that are like really far away first, and then we kind of work backwards, depending on the level, of course. But yeah, now he's lost flight. So that happens when you talk to someone, basically. We'll go into like a little mini cutscene like that, like this. And as mentioned, you can get it back by dying. And I don't know if you utilise that in this run. Could be wrong. I know we're doing like some of the New Game Plus categories. But yeah, so now we're just gonna run through the levels super quick. This is actually a really tough level for gems, at least in my opinion, because a lot of the gems are kind of scarce. And also one thing that does not help, which is worth mentioning, is we do, well, as you can see, we don't have sparks. The reason why we don't have sparks, as mentioned, the game thinks we're in a flight level. We don't have sparks in the flight level. So why that's really tough is, well, one, we don't know our health, so we have to kind of keep track of his health. And two, if we are missing a gem by the end of the level, normally there's a button in the game where sparks will point towards the nearest gem. That's completely useless in this. We do not have that ability. So we have to really make sure we're picking up gems here, because if we're missing any, it becomes basically flying around the level until we can find it. And that'd be really unfortunate. Especially on a run like this, which has been sick so far. Yeah, utilizing a lot of this super fast movement and the fireballs here, we're able to kind of cheat some of the orbs there, as you saw. Normally you're supposed to follow those bugs, but we could just fireball them. So yeah, a lot of the gems here are scattered in this level, so it's kind of is a pain in the ass to miss a gem. Sparks does pick up gems still. He works exactly the same, he's just invisible. So he'll still pick stuff out as normal, he's just completely invisible. So he still works functionally the same, he even still points towards gems. He's just like the button still works and you can still hear him do it, he's just not visible on the screen. But yeah. So yeah, going around, picking up all the gems here. Again, another nice thing about flying towards the end of this level is because that like mystery bars thing there. Normally is at the end of the level, and we kind of have to work our way backwards. So that's another nice thing about having flight and being able to fly straight to the end of the level, basically. So we can kind of do that early. But yeah, 400 gems right there. He got them all. It's such a pain to get that last gem and it not coming up 400 out of 400, and you're like, oh no. Especially on my Baraka. There's a lot of places those gems can be. Yep, exiting now, making our way up the stairs. Even though we have flight, I know, it's shocking, but we need to get those gems, unfortunately. But that'll be the last time we have to climb this stairs, pretty sure. It's funny to see the door still closed for Ripto, even though he's already like beaten. But yeah, just going around, smashing these rocks. We don't even need head dash. I don't think we even get head dash like at all. Who needs it? You may have also noticed there's no more money bags because the game has beaten it, so it assumes. I think we actually are given head dash, but I don't think it gives it to us automatically because the game would be like, well, we beat the game, so we assume you have to have head dash. You need head dash to beat the game. Well, to beat it normally. But we're going to Canyon Speedway. We're not going to beat Canyon Speedway. We're actually going to leave it straight away. Or guidebook there. We're actually going to do Canyon Speedway very last. I can't remember exactly why. I think it's because it's so far out of the way. But yeah, we managed to grab like all the stuff there, the orb level, and the gems. But that's actually the very, very last level that we do. You know what? I'm brain dead. I guess Moneybags is still there. Maybe I'm thinking of Spyro 3. I'm thinking of Spyro 3. I think I might be thinking of Spyro 3 actually with Moneybags. Could be okay. Well, never mind. I was wrong. Never mind. We do need it. Don't listen to me. I'm only the guy commentating on the run. But yeah, Mystic Marsh. This orb can kind of suck, especially if you don't have level storage. Basically what this orb is, we're given like, well here is an egg, and then we'd have to give it to like a bird, and then the bird gives us something. Not a bird, sorry, but I can't remember who we give it to be honest, but we basically got to run around the map and deliver these items to the next character. But having level storage obviously makes it a lot easier. I believe because we spoke to the professor there, we don't have flight anymore, so. But fortunately, we don't really need it in this level, because again, the shape of it, we run through it anyway. But yeah, a lot of just basically running around the level here now, making sure we're picking up these gems that are just kind of out of the way. Yeah, the tree, we get it. I took it as like a nest or something. Yeah, we activate that straight away because obviously we're going to make our way around the level anyway, and these items we kind of got to deliver to the people across. So we got to go around the map anyway, we're kind of forced to because of this orb. So it's best to get it activated as early as possible. It's the same guy that was in Metro. He's just now an explorer. Took a break from the Metro life. And again, yeah, now the game is basically just this. Just using this ultra fast movement to get these gems as fast as possible. And a lot of the levels in Spyro 2 are kind of more spread out, especially compared to like say Spyro 1, so it's definitely helpful having the fast movement. As you saw there, he managed to super flame both his enemies at the same time, thus giving us just that one animation instead of like both. It's pretty sweet. Yo, what up, Max Joe? Thank you for the raid, man. Welcome to a broken game. A broken game within a broken trilogy. It's a great combo. But yeah, for those who are joining, especially ones that are more used to OG, we're seeing House here on a really good pace run, actually, showing off some level storage movement. Basically, what the game thinks we have flight movement. It thinks we have the same movement as we would in flight, hence why we have a timer on the top right, and hence why you don't see sparks. So I think we're in a flight level right now, and we're able to sort of extract those that movement and those the charge and the flight, and put it into make use of it in other levels. I think there's also a level storage in 3, but it works a little bit different and it's a little bit harder to get. I haven't actually really looked too much into it, but I believe there is a level storage in 3 as well, but there isn't 1 on 1, unfortunately. Yeah, this is definitely what makes what sets 100% apart. Because I think even if it is 1 in 3, I don't think we utilize it in 117%. Because again, I think it works a little bit different. But it's mostly useful on 2 anyway, because of the fact that we are given that supercharge. I don't think we have the same kind of movement as we do in Spyro 3's flight levels. I think Spyro 2's flight levels are kind of unique in this way. But again, making our way around now. Again, the coin finish, I believe, goes into the fountain. I think that might be the end of that mission. I think these should be the final gems. Right about here. Or somewhere. Oh no, we got a pencil and that gives us a professor, right. I got you. My pencil. He need another pencil. Peggy Hill. That's the wrong guy. It's the same guy, damn it. So now we're just finishing off grabbing the rest of the gems in this level and the last kangaroo thief. I think that might be the last gems. I don't know if he missed one. Unless I'm wrong. I believe he is missing a gem. I think that was supposed to be the last gem. So this is where the game becomes fun. Again, normally in the game you'd have the ability to have sparks point towards a gem. As you can imagine, having level storage, it makes it very easy to miss a gem, just because you're going so fast. So unfortunately, he's going to have to kind of look for the final gem. So gem. And again, with these levels, there are a lot of they are very spread out. So it's very easy to miss one. Oh, is that it? Is that the final one? Okay, got it. Nice. Okay, not the end of the world, but it can happen in a 100% run, as mentioned. With the ultra speed that we have, it's very easy to just assume that Sparks is doing his job. And again, it's kind of a pain when you don't have Sparks. Even though he's here right now for some reason. Ignore that. This fake Sparks. He's filling in. He's filling in for the real Sparks. Okay, so now we're entering Cloud Temple. I was going to say Cloud Temple has some pretty cool movement in it, but we probably won't see that cool movement because we have level storage, so we're going to have the ability to fly and spin around anyway. So. So yeah, with those platforms there, it's actually really interesting. You don't even need level storage to jump across them in their current state. You don't even need to kill the guy to make him kind of stop moving. If that makes sense. So that's what I meant by yeah, it's kind of cool movement in this, but level storage kind of makes it a little bit trivial. But again, yeah, let's progress through the level fast as we can. Again, now we're basically beating the levels now, so we ain't revisiting anymore. In fact, we're just going to beat the final Hub Worlds levels, and then we're going to kind of make our way backwards. killing that guy there, I think it is necessary, but the way he did it there, he's able to skip the cutscene. There's normally a cutscene when you kill that guy. But if you can't escape that area fast enough like that, be able to skip that cutscene entirely. I think that's necessary to get this orb here. Could be wrong, I can't remember the exact reason why. Yeah, now we're just as you can see here, we don't have flight anymore because we spoke to the guy. So yeah, all of the levels are. It's kind of interesting that we do kind of like manage that flight in a way. In that we try and, well, I say manage it, we don't manage it. One thing we do manage actually is the health. That's definitely one thing. As you saw earlier, we do kind of houses like picking up health as often as you can. Okay, because he's kind of having to keep track of his health as well. So life jar is also really helpful. But yeah, making use of the flight to kind of get to is rooted in a certain way where we can kind of make the full use of it before we kind of lose it. Because it's kind of inevitable that we're going to lose it, I suppose. There's a lot of NPCs in this game, and I suppose any orb that we get counts as like a cutscene, and that cancels out the flight. Again, I can't remember exactly if we do a strat where we actually die on purpose to regain it, because dying, I believe, gives us flight again. Again, if I knew the run, that might help. Yeah, I believe Fireball doesn't activate the bells, so we're having to use other methods to hit for them. That has doing a really good job of it. And now, with these final gems, we're now going to be doing Agent 9. So Agent 9 is another kind of auto-scroller in the game. We just got to follow him around. Level storage doesn't really help a huge amount here. I was tactically killing that sheep and getting the health there. Thankfully with the full life, so we get full health there. So he knows he's at full health now. So yeah, we're having to wait for Agent 9. Am I saying Agent 9? Agent 0? Wait, no, which one's which? I can never remember which one's which. There's too many agents in this game. In other words, there's 2 agents. Is it 0? It is 0. Okay, I was like, okay. Hey, I blame Roger in the chat. You said Agent 9, I was thinking Agent 9, yeah, I was thinking it was 0. Okay, I got you. But there's too many characters in this game, man. It's too hard to keep track of. But yeah, I'm getting all the gems there. As you saw, we kind of left some on purpose so we can get it during this kind of water scroller. We all kind of want to get those gems during then, because obviously it's more optimal. Like I said, level storage doesn't help a huge amount with that orb. We kind of got to follow him. Hey, I read it somewhere first. That's why I called it 9. I swear. You knew who I meant. Who agents want to 8? I think there is like actual lore behind it. It's like SCP stuff. But getting the Dylan orb there. I don't need to explain why we call it the Dylan orb. I'll leave that to your imagination. And then able to fly straight to this island. Normally what we have to do is we have to fly to like that bit through the cracked wall, and then we go up to the top of the tower, and then we fly all the way down there. It's nice and calm. We get to see the scenery a bit while we fly down. Not in this though, unfortunately we just go straight to it. No calmness in 100. 100 is full go right now. We ain't stopping for nothing. Except for missing gems. But other than that, we're zooming. So again, flight's going to be pretty helpful here. Don't have to do torch jump or anything like that. Let's go straight through it. Able to do DrHouse as well, pretty cool with this. Don't even need to get the 15 souls. Souls, of course, being when you kill an enemy, you grab their soul, Shang Tsung style, and we use them to use the gates, to power up the gates, but we don't need to, because we could just fly right now anyway. Making DrHouse. Actually, to be fair, with level storage, DrHouse is kind of insane. It's actually a lot harder. As you can see, he's going very fast. You don't normally go this fast during DrHouse, so definitely very tough movement. It is pretty metal. We're stealing their souls. We ain't messing around in Spyro 2, man. But as mentioned, now we've lost our flight, so hence why we kind of bought this bridge earlier. As mentioned before, we can actually skip the bridge entirely by using the level's height cap that we used earlier to get to Ripto. We can actually use that flight from the Soul Gate to go past it, but of course it's way faster to just not get the enemies and start to talk to them. It makes sense in more of the 80% categories because you're trying to conserve gems, of course. So, but in this, obviously, it doesn't really matter. Spend as many gems as we like. But yeah, this is George, the best orb in the game. Again, I guess another similar, like, kind of auto-scrolly one. But yeah, utilizing George's slowness, I suppose, to grab some of the gems there. And thankfully, that was the final gem, so we don't have to run around and grab the extra ones. It's a pretty simple level actually in terms of gems, so there's not a lot of like places where there's gems hiding. So it's pretty rare that you're kind of missing one by the end of this. Oh, you missed the fish. George will not be happy. Never mind, you got it nice and well early before you even got there. And George Bush, you know what? I'm surprised one doesn't exist. How did they not make a George Bush? The main character of the series. The like poster boy. Yep, now we're just taking them back to this guy. Giving us the final orb of the level. And then we can kind of move on to more important things. Being Zephyr. I think it's Zephyr? No, is it? No, it's Scalos, I think actually. No, yeah, it's Scalos, I was right. Well, I was wrong, but I was right on my second guess, which means I'm right. So, Scalos, if you hear earlier, we kind of skipped like the entire level. We wall glided straight to the Talisman, didn't do anything basically. So, we basically got a job ahead of us right now. We've got to do everything, minus some gems here and there. Oh yeah, worth mentioning, yeah, I forgot to mention the mini-map. I don't even know why he has it on. I think he has it on just for the beats, because you do not need a map for this at all. So I think he has it just to show off the fact that the game really is broke right now. Yeah, the map is slightly wrong, So I don't even think what map that even is. That is Scalos, It's just where the game thinks we're in a flight level, so it doesn't really know where we are. We're in like a parallel dimension. We're in like Mario 64 parallel dimension right now. So, yep, going through, getting these bones. And we're gonna have it's a pretty cool orb, this bone. It's a bone orb, also known as the bone dance orb. Really cool place gem right there in the lava. Everyone's favourite gem right there. So grabbing the gems and of course these bones as we go. Managing that health, getting that health there, did quite a bit of damage. So again, thankfully the lives in this game are also health. Which they aren't in like Spyro 1, so that's really handy. Ooh, that was a really cool jump actually, jumping on that warp gate there. Warp gate. Grabbing these gems before he finally grabs this final bone, but of course he wants to grab the gems and such around it first because it will warp us to the guy, the skeleton. Now here we go. You ready? You ready, kids? I don't need to say anything for this. The flossing and the meme horns, man. So yeah, what's great about that actually is because it's so like memey and terrible, it actually formed a brand new category called Bone Dance, where basically you kind of make your way and beat that orb as fast as you can. And it's obviously in Spyro 2 and Spyro 3. This is in, I can't remember the name of the level now, I actually ran it. What's the name of that level? Well, what's the name of the level? Is it Enchanted Towers? Is that the name of the level? But yeah, so that formed its own category, because of course it's great. But yeah, we saw a bit of T-posing there. That's because we made our way to this area a little bit too fast, because the game doesn't think we're going to have the ability to supercharge right now. So they were able to get into the area a little bit quick. Yeah, it wasn't Charlotte. I thought so. I'm not giving them names, quite clearly. Regardless of whether I run the game or not, I'm like, what's the name of the first level? Well, technically, there's no first level, but yeah. So here, it's all scripted, I guess. Still got T-pose and cavemen here. Again, the game's like, how are you here? What's happening? But yeah, it's all scripted. The eggs, fortunately, so we're able to go in the order that we know exists. No RNG there, thankfully. Oh, can you imagine there was RNG in that minigame? That'd be awesome. But yeah, that was Skelos. Pretty cool level. Now going straight to Zephyr. Seeing we could just guide booking straight to levels. One really nice thing about revisiting, of course, we could just guide book to them instead of having to manually run all the way back there. Utilising this out of bounds trick once again, made it a little bit easier because we can fly. So we're just going straight out of bounds, going straight to Juliet. Which is really cool actually, this orb, because you don't even need to get level swords, you can also kind of trick the game. Using the area where the talisman is, it's called Cannonless, and you can kind of get there and go out of bounds even without level swords. But it's a pretty cool level in that how broken it is. But yeah, now we're getting these orbs before we're going to get all the gems in this area, and then kind of working, I guess, backwards. I believe because the mystery vase is around it somewhere. Pretty well. I think there's a mystery vase in this. Hence why you're probably wondering why we're skipping like the very beginning of the level. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's mystery vases. So yeah, making our way back hither. Now we have Fireball and Supercharge, kind of just like avoid having to, yeah, get out the normal way, which I guess is also a Fireball. But having the ability to Supercharge, making the mystery vases a lot quicker. I think that's what they're called, by the way. I'm just calling them mystery vases. I don't even know if they actually have a specific name. I'm sure they do have a name through the lore of the game, but I mean it makes sense as well. I guess it would be called. Again, using this ultra speed, just clear up these areas now, grabbing the gems before we kind of do the first area. I always think it's funny in this game now you do the first area of the game completely lost. But again, it's because of the vases. Game kind of forces us to do it backwards forward anyway. There's a room that we keep clipping into. Now we can actually see the room instead of going through it, which is nice. Yeah, having Fireball is also really helpful in this level just because there's a lot of like usage of the cannons in this. Obviously having the Fireball means we get to skip the cannon usage, which is nice because the cannons are a pain. They are not fun to use. Definitely hard to get a hang of. You kind of have to memorize exactly where to aim. Yeah, I wouldn't actually say like how sick House is actually at this movement. Like this isn't easy like at all. Like going at this speed is very tricky. And like I've said, like it's very easy to miss a gem. Unfortunately, I did miss a gem earlier in Missing Marsh. But like it's so easy to miss a gem. So the fact there's only happened one, it's a pretty sick run. But now we're re-entering Breeze. This is a pretty interesting level with level storage, and you see we're able to like shoot these orbs. He actually does so sick there. That was so sweet. Again, really easy to mess up the cycles there and to miss them. But he did a really smooth there. Really rushing for these levels. Really making use of this level storage right here with lightsiders moving. Really fucking good at this. Can I swear on this? I hope I can. I hope I can. So yeah, so again we're kind of making our way this level now of the oh no. Making our way to the trolley now. Unfortunately, like I said, unlike OG, in OG you can actually pick these up. I believe you can pick them up without the trolley. But unfortunately here we kind of have to. One really cool thing, actually, for those who didn't know in the chat, especially the SRT runners, with the final guy, well I guess I'll talk about when we kind of get to him. I don't know how many people know that, only because Noth showed me the other day. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't know that. I'll talk about it, I guess, when we get towards the end of this. Well, actually, I suppose we're going to skip through the dialogue, aren't we? We're going to skip through the dialogue. Okay, well, basically, the voice actor of the guy who talks to us, the chopper about the trolley here, is also the same voice actor. It's exactly the same voice even as Magnus. So that's one really cool thing about this. Magnus being pretty, well, I was gonna say notorious. He's not notorious, but a big character in the SRT community, physically and figuratively. Actually, it's a big character. So yeah, it's the exact same voice, like no different. So that's an interesting little fact, I guess, about this. But yeah, this trolley level sucks. It's very easy. It's very easy to mess it up. Yeah, he skips through the dialogue. Shock. I'm upset. He's going for the speed. He's going for the frames. He ain't saving animals here. But yeah, really interesting fact because you didn't know. Not a lot of people know, I guess, because like I said, we skip through the dialogue anyway. And who plays this game casually, am I right? But yeah, making a pretty good job of the trolley there. Again, it sucks to miss, like, or to take the damage or whatever, to fail it via the end there. So thankfully that didn't happen. We're having a bit of trouble with the guys there. He's just resorting to spamming. It's getting closer now. Yeah, nobody's pretty good at this, so unfortunately you kind of messed up a little. Which is fine. He showed off his movement quite a lot today, I'd say, especially with the that Ripto fight first cycle, second phase, and obviously Magnus Cone Climeless, which is pretty sick. Okay, so this game, I was gonna say this game's pretty cool. That is wrong. This level's pretty cool with Fireball. I guess similar or exactly the same really as OG. We're able to kind of shoot Bombo without having to obviously use the gate. I think we still have to use the gate. I think we still have to kill the enemy, I believe, and activate it. Otherwise it doesn't activate the mini game or whatever, the orb. So I keep calling him Bombo. I can't remember what his name is. I think his name is Bombo. It was Bob. I don't think it only confuses me because I think the names are different. For some reason it's like Bombo and I think OG is Bombo and SRT. I don't know why they changed the name. But yeah, again, getting these enemies. This will activate the Fireball, Warp, Power Pad, whatever you call it, Power Gate. Obviously we don't need it because we already have like infinite or like permanent Fireball, but I think we need it to activate the game anyway. So yeah, basically kind of rushing our way towards this orb straight away, basically, other than obviously getting the gems. Mainly because we're going to be forced to kind of backtrack to the level anyway because of this minigame. Okay, oh, it's censored. Is that really the reason why? I guess because bomb is a bad word. But I don't know. We're gonna have bombs in the Spyro game. Here he is. Yeah, when's the Spyro subway art? I'm still waiting for that. Where's that fan art? Everyone's waiting for it, you know. I'm still waiting for it to come up on the side. We know it's coming. What's the sub? Pretty hungry now for some meatball sub. But yeah, voice. But yeah, getting that Bombo. I keep calling Bombo. Is it Bob? It's Bob. Okay, getting Bob there before doing this minigame. This is kind of a lame minigame in my opinion. Again, another kind of auto-scrolly one. I kind of still really don't understand how this works. To be honest, I really don't. I guess we gotta like flame the monkeys before we like coconut, but you have to like bait the monkeys? I don't know. Game's hard, okay. Yeah, this orb kind of sucks. There's actually an orb in 40 orb once, I believe, before it got kind of subbed out for, I think, one of the ones in Fracture. Unless it was always like that, and this was just kind of like one you would do otherwise, but I don't know why you'd ever want to do this. So, but yeah, Scorcher sucks overall. It kind of does. I'm not a huge fan of Scorch, but I do like the level storage use in it. And Hana is the real villain. Definitely, I agree. Smug Hunter. Yeah, that was that orb. I know, not the most exciting. It's not really the most exciting level really. I don't know. Like I said, I find it interesting the level storage used in this. And not only that, but it's actually kind of hard. I always thought Bob or whatever was pretty hard, especially like casually. But doing that allows him, like I said, getting those gems. You can kind of run ahead of Bombo here, which makes it. I was gonna call him Bombo because that's what obviously was happening by default. But yeah, you can kind of run ahead of him there, which is quite helpful. Because again, it's really easy to get hit by one of those orbs. So now grabbing the last one, which is right at the very beginning of the game. I believe it's a 2-2 up here. Yep, which he left back when he did it. When he did this level the first time. Of course, you kind of leave a gem or two up there. And now doing, I guess, the final part of this level. Oh, that was really close. Oh, he almost got hit there. But yeah, grabbing the rest of the gems. There it is, 400 or 400. He's happy now. He knows he ain't silly. Oh, that's really unlucky. Okay. House got robbed. House got robbed. Bombo ain't playing anymore. He's like, nah, man, you ain't going ahead of me. I'm gonna snipe you. I don't even care. That's pretty sad, but not the end of the world. It can happen. Again, it's pretty dangerous orb. Like I said, it's definitely not the easiest one. I'd say it's one of the harder ones in the game. And that is Scorch. Again, not everyone's favourite level. It's pretty tough, and I don't know, it's got some pretty meta orbs in it. Like I said, the monkey one. No one likes a monkey orb. The monkey. Turn to monkey. Okay, so now next level, Scotland. Also known as Fracture Hill, I guess, but it's just Scotland. We all know it. So now we're getting the rest of the gems in this. We actually left quite a lot of stuff in here. I don't think we did anything in this. I think we basically just released the savers and then left. And that was the entire level. So we've basically got everything to do in this. Fortunately, it's made very easy with obviously level storage. And not only that, but Fireball. Fireball's going to be very handy in this, especially with like the Earth guys, Earth Shapers. That's it. And the like Alchemist. Although the Alchemist you can actually kind of glitch anyway. I think you kind of do something similar in 100 as well, where we just kind of charge away and basically deload the level. Because basically this level's loaded in chunks. So I think we're gonna kind of see that. Although it's gonna kill all the enemies anyway, so it doesn't matter. But this is like a chunk of the level basically, and how we do the Alchemist otherwise is we kind of just run away and then come back and it's like done. But, okay. But I guess since we have to pick up all the gems, we can't really run away, so I guess that's why we kill the Earth Shapers. I'm learning the route, I'm learning it, you know. I'm learning the category. But yeah, now we're able to just leave him alone, and he's gonna make his way towards Hunter. Basically the orb is, he has to carry a potion to Hunter to like save his feet or something, because they're like concrete or something, I don't know. And yeah. But we've called all the threats, so we're able to just run away and grab some of the gems. That gate there you just ran through, normally you're supposed to have supercharge and you're supposed to kind of run around the level. We don't have to do that because we have supercharge anyway, permanently. So we can just smash through it, makes it a lot easier. Saves having to go through the gate. Now we've gone back towards this part of the game. Again, it's loaded in kind of chunks this level, so he made it. The Alchemist was probably already at Hunter, but because it had to wait for us to kind of be in the area first for it to activate the cutscene. So. Killing all the Earth Shapers already there, so we instantly get the second orb, which is pretty nice, and getting the final gems, and that's it. Great little level, great little level. Yeah, this one is so satisfying. That's the thing. Like level storage isn't for everyone, understandably, because it is really tough. But when you see someone like House like pull it off, it's such a great level. Like, he's put some hours in level storage, you know, so he knows what he's doing. So when you see someone do it, who just knows what they're doing, it's like, it's sick. It's a sick category. Like 100, like I said, it's a very Marmite kind of category. You either love it or you hate it, sort of thing. Because of level storage. Like, level storage can put a lot of people off. Or you get people like House that just absolutely love it. And you can definitely show it off to its maximum potential. So now coming down into Popcorn. Popcoin. I guess level storage does help here because we can able to grab them pretty quick. Normally this is kind of an annoying orb, mainly because you kind of got to rely a bit on RNG. Sometimes they can be really spread out. Hey, even there, it was a pretty bad RNG there. You couldn't even grab all three there. So even without a little sword though, it's kind of annoying. But with it should help quite a lot. Should be getting most of the pop coins here. Ooh, we let Hunter grab one. Actual villain. It's like his world's under attack, and he's like, nah, I'll hold on to this orb unless you get more popcorns than me. 10-1 Peppy hands. Runs over, reset. Yeah, he already got one already. Absolute villain. Yeah, definitely a lot of RNG in this. But other than that, it's not really too hard. You just kind of follow it. Sometimes you get kind of like phantom ones where you can hear the popcorn crystal. I can't remember the actual real name for it. You can like hear it, but they're not like. No, you don't even hear it. It just pops out of the ground straight away. That can happen, which is kind of annoying when that happens, but it's not too common at least. Getting the final popcorn here, easy peasy. 15-1. Not perfect, you know, it could have been better, I guess, but now we're re-entering Magma because we want flight again. Because, as mentioned, we talk to Hunter, or if we talk to anyone really, especially if we get like an orb sort of thing, plays a cutscene. Playing a cutscene gets rid of flight. We still have supercharge and all that lot, but we don't have flight. I'm not sure why that is, to be honest, but one, leaving allows us to sort of get these ships down to, yeah, like I said, gives us flight. So it's a very interestingly kind of set out level. That's kind of got those two areas, so flight's definitely very handy here. You won with 10-9 ready. What king? He ain't no 4-year-old brother. Yeah, again, just kind of grabbing all these gems around here before kind of making our way to the final area and doing the party hats. It's going to be pretty interesting with level storage. Here's money bags. The guy that never gets paid on this level. Imagine buying an elevator. Yeah, before we're starting, obviously, the mini game, we want to shoot those and get them dropped nice and early before talking to the guy. That starts off party hat minigame. So normally with these guys, what you'd have to do is you'd have to pick up rocks and then shoot the rocks and then pick up a rock and then shoot the rock and then pick up a rock, blah blah blah, until they're all dead. We don't need to do that. In fact, this is actually really sick movement too. We could just fireball them, which speeds up the process slightly, but more. Unfortunately, taking some hits there. Got a little bit unlucky there, got kind of sniped. But other than that, some really nice movement there. Again, keeping up his health. Kind of tough with the fact that you can't see sparks. You got to really make sure you manage your health. But yeah, that was pretty good. Really sick movement. And again, this isn't easy. Like the speed at which he's going at. Like it takes a lot of practice to get used to this movement. But now moving on to Shady. So Shady's going to be slightly different. We're no longer going to be following Shorty here. Again, we have flight, so we can kind of rush straight to these middle bits here. Getting a tree shot nice and early. Don't want to open those doors. We still need Shorty, unfortunately, to go through it. But in the meantime, we have flight, so we can kind of rush through it as long as we're pushing Shorty along. Just got a little bit more freedom now. So with these thieves, they're going to be doing, again, normally you'd have these rocks, and you're supposed to like shoot them with it. Actually, I don't know if you're supposed to shoot them with the rocks. I suppose you can. I guess even that is kind of a bit of an exploit, but we have fireballs, if you weren't aware. Oh, that second shot was so tight. Wow. He actually managed to get that other thing. Okay. He ain't slowing down, he ain't standing there and waiting for another shot, he's just still running forward, just hoping that it'll still hit, and it does. God. Yeah, he's basically doing like 3 different things at once here. He's like escorting a Choi, Only for opening some of the doors, I think, is the reason why. Doing the thief one and multiple doors doing this at the same time. I think this is the only reason why we have head bash. I think. Could be wrong. I think that's literally the only reason why we need it throughout the run. It's for these things here. But yeah, pretty simple orb. Just kind of wait in for them to drop before we head bash them. Yeah, to counter those people that are like, oh, why can't Spyro fly whenever he likes? He's a dragon, right? He flies anyway in the fight levels. Well, this is to those people that say that. Well, now look at him. The reason why? Because he's OP. Look at him. Look at him go. Spyro suppresses himself, his power, on purpose, because otherwise it's just too easy for him. He likes the challenge, you know. So yep, grabbing that final thief, and again, doing these vases while grabbing these gems around here. And then I believe after we've done this level, that should be autumn done. I think we've even got all the gems in the world. So straight after this, I believe we're actually making our way back to the very first level, which is a throwback to when we were doing Glimmer, I guess. Because again, another level we basically rushed through. Yep, that's it. So making our way back to Glimmer now, I believe. The very first level in the game. I know we've not even beat the first level yet. But that's what we're doing now, and again, level storage making it very convenient. Able to go straight out of bounds, make our way straight to you. So we can start this lizard orb. I guess again similar to OG in a way, where you kind of want to get this done early, and again you can kind of go out of bounds, I believe, like straight away in OG. Go straight to there, because again it's one of those kind of mini games where you got to make your way backwards for the level. So starting it as early as possible makes sense before we kind of make our way back, instead of going forward for it. You'll know. I only explain basics routing. Technically, you could 100% Glimmer. You're not supposed to, because you are supposed to have Climb, but you're able to kind of bypass the Climb. So technically, you're supposed to go back with Climb. You can trick it to beat it with Climb, but the reason why we go back with level storage anyway is because we have level storage and stuff like. So you can still 100% this level if you really wanted to, even in 100%, like right at the very beginning of the game, but it makes sense not to, because it's a hell of a lot quicker to do a fireball. And of course the ability to supercharge, and of course again, the ability to fly. So, naturally, the beginning of 100% is mainly just an any percent, slightly extra stepped any percent. Yes, Sparks does exist, it's just, again, the game thinks we're in a flight level, hence why there's a time on the top right. And because the game thinks we're in a flight level, you don't get sparks in flight. You do have sparks, but it's invisible, so that's why it's invisible here. And again, it can cause problems. But hey, this guy we haven't even spoke to yet is like, oh, you did it, okay, cool. Here's the orb, I guess. You're supposed to have flight, how did you do that? We don't need flight, well, we do, but actually we don't, we have fireball. Spyro don't need your pathetic power gates. He already has all the powers in the world. Except for like lava walk, who needs lava walk? Except for like twice a game, maybe once. This guy really. But again, making our way to the beginning of the level now, making sense because we're following the kangaroo dude. Finishing off the lizard again. Freeze breath? Fireball is way better than freeze breath. You don't need freeze breath. Except for frozen orders. The screw frozen, actually no, don't screw frozen orders. It's like the best level game. What did he just hit there, by the way? Did he like, did something fly in the air and he hit like the rock or something? I think he just fireballed something in the air there. That was really unfortunate. I think the kangaroo guy threw the rock out as he shot. That's quite funny. But yeah, that was Glimmer. Again, we're still speeding for these levels. Bear in mind, Glimmer, he basically ran straight to the end and that was it. And yet he's still able to beat it like that quick. Like level storage is definitely very powerful, especially in the hands of someone like House who has practiced level storage a lot. He knows what he's doing. So, seeing level storage put to use by someone who's very, very experienced with it is definitely a very cool sight. So, making our way now to this orb. Unfortunately, we can't kind of like fly straight to it, you know, since there's gems everywhere. So we kind of got to go through that, I guess, kind of casually. But able to clip out through here and able to get the second, well, the final orb, I believe, in this home world that we needed to collect. I think, unless there's another one that could be done. I don't think so. Yeah, that is all the orbs. Okay, it's one of the confirmation message. But then making our way to Aquaria. Now, Aquaria, if you remember correctly, we basically just jumped into this magic pixel and skipped straight to the end of the game. So we've got a lot to do in this level, and unfortunately, it's a pretty long level and it's got some pretty lame orbs. We got a lot to do in this level, so starting with, I believe, we're going to fill the warp up, I think. Hence why we're kind of working our way backwards there. So yep, grabbing that. So that basically now is, even though it's the first button we hit, it's technically the last button in the level. So now it's filled up the whole world and allows us to go up here. And it's a lot better to do this bit with the water. So that's why we fill it up nice and early. And yeah, like I said, we've got a bit of a task ahead of us here. So we've got to do all these gems here, which is a bit of a pain. And we've also got this orb to do, which I guess we have to rescue this guy's kids, because he can't be bothered to do it himself. I guess because he's a seahorse. But again, we want to get that done early, because there's another one of those orbs. We've got to basically make our way through the level. So naturally we'll want to get that activated as soon as possible, and kind of follow it and get gems at the same time. So this is the manta ray, another kind of auto-scrolly kind of orb, I guess. You just follow the guy. You can actually fail this if you go too fast. So if you cut corners, especially on the second one, I think it's on the second one actually, you can cut corners too harshly and go too fast and actually go like kind of ahead of the seahorse. You don't want to do that, so I did forget to say that, yeah, so we talked to the furry in a wetsuit. The classic furry in a wetsuit. How could I forget to call him that? But yeah, this is kind of a cool way to get gems too, so obviously the route kind of naturally takes us around. And let's just kind of grab some of the gems too. So that's a pretty nice thing, I guess, about this orb. But yeah, nicely done. I mean, not a lot to say really about that. It's generally kind of a lot of voice scrolly kind of orb. Not really too tough. But yeah, now finally grabbing these orbs before we carry on with the seahorse rescue mission. I believe we might even see some like commentary damage abuses through some of them. He might do, because some of these kind of suck. Well, I'll just say he damage abuses when he takes damage unintentionally. That's what all of us do, right? But yeah, as mentioned, we basically got to rescue about, I think 6. Yeah, it literally says it here. We got to rescue 6 of the seahorses, so they're spread out across the level. So, like I said, we want to get that done nice and early, so we can kind of naturally make our way around the level anyway. Conveniently, that one we can just make our way straight to it, which is nice. Yeah, unfortunately, we kind of got to get all 6. I don't know if it's actually a thing. Like, let's say if you can cheat the game and go through walls. I don't know if like grabbing the 6th one will actually do it straight away. It might do. I think grabbing the 6th one might actually take you to the guy, but I don't think there's a way into the rooms without obviously getting the previous one to unlock the door. Like, I don't think we can kind of clip through them. So I'd assume that just simply grabbing the 6th one would also work, but I just don't think there's a way that's been discovered to do that just yet. Also double water, by the way. It's like, you know what, SpongeBob? It's like when they have like, they buy like the ocean, there's like a beach, and it's like, why is there a beach? How you're already in the sea? What? It's deep water, you know. It's got extra wetness in it, and it makes it wetter. So yeah, Now making our way to the 6th seahorse. Seahorse. That's my Nost impression. But of course, grabbing these gems along the way. Well, I suppose it's interesting how it actually is kind of like this extra speed with the... Because the game thinks we're in a flight level, right? But we're in water, so it's like... Water, by the way. I unironically said water. Well, anyway. So it's interesting how there actually is kind of this, like, speed swim. Like, that actually exists, even though it knows we're in a flight level. I don't know. I always thought that was kind of weird. Maybe there's some sort of technical explanation behind it. Who knows? Killing these sharks, definitely want to do that because they are like a one-hit kill. Well, they're not kill, but I think they take you back to the... Do they kill you? I can't remember. They might kill you. Definitely gotta watch out for those sharks. That, like, if they touch you, it's definitely dangerous. And getting the final sea horse. Grabbing this final orb and taking this out of Aquaria. Again, a pretty long level. Probably the longest level, maybe next to Sunny Beach. Actually, is Sunny Beach that bad? I think Aquaria is the worst one, simply as a revisit in terms of like how long it takes, simply because you're in water, so you're not like speed charging around and flying around and shit. So and there's also a lot to do since we skipped the entire level. So. But yeah, this is where Fireball really is helpful in this level specifically because we're supposed to have, well, we're supposed to kill a certain amount of enemies, like 14 enemies, 14 or 15, in order to get the Fireball, and then we basically need to go around grabbing the Fireball at least like 3 times to shoot all of these crates to rescue these turtles. Fortunately, we don't have to do that because we already have infinite Fireballs, so we can just shoot them whenever we want, which is right away. But yeah, grabbing all these gems. And obviously shooting a metal chest too, which again would require the fireballs, but have it. Pretty convenient. And I think we end this on Total Soup, which is interesting because... Oh, it's like 11. It's 11 enemies, okay. I don't know this game. But yeah, it's an interesting level because you're going to see him kind of rushing here and stuff in there, but that's because the chest takes us back anyway. So... But when we shoot the final like tail box, it'll take us back to the final guy, which I think where the last gems are. But yeah, I'm doing Total Soup now, which is another like amazing orb or 2 orbs. I remember when I played this casually, a little story. I didn't realize you could charge these guys for some reason. So I used to think this was like the world's hardest orb, because I had to flame them, and they don't go very far when they flame, so I was having to manage flaming the turtles. It was a nightmare. I don't know I don't know why I never thought to charge it. Yeah, it was a struggle. Oh, is he gonna get their wall guide? Nice. So that's also a neat little thing you can do in the game. You can just wall glide up to the top of that if you really wanted to. Yeah, story time. Yuck. I'm sorry, it won't happen again. That's the only story I had anyway. Good. Thank you. So yeah, not really like a huge amount really to say about Total Soup. It is just you're shooting turtles in water and water. I can't not say water anymore. Water. And that's the entire minigame really. Nothing too exciting. It's not RNG either. It's scripted which ones are coming out what hole. So. As you see, you're kind of seeing houses mess around because it really is just simply this, Oh, that actually is one thing interesting because as someone mentioned in the chat, I believe in OG the camera is like bird's eye or something. I can't remember exactly what it is, but the camera's like locked in a certain position. In this, they give you like the normal camera still. So I guess they were like, probably people don't like the locked camera. Maybe we should just give them a normal camera, and yeah, makes it a little bit better. It's at a fixed angle, right? Yeah, I don't think it was exactly bird's eye. Yeah, that's one little neat difference, I guess, between OG and SRT. But yeah, again, like I said, he missed those gems on purpose because we get teleported, and we're able to get those gems blast. And now we're making our way into, I think it's Harikos. Harikos, okay. Now Harikos is really cool because I hate this level, right? But mainly because of the orb thief guys. We're gonna kind of do a pretty cool exploit with those guys a little bit soon. But first, we're gonna grab these gems first. Again, we missed quite a lot of this level when we first did it. We were able to kind of clip out of the level and just make our way straight to you. It's funny how many levels you can do that on. Very well play tested. We don't really feel like doing this level to clip straight to the end. Why not? I missed those gems, but went back and grabbed them. But yeah, this level's like kind of a pain. Again, mainly because of this orb. But you're gonna see House flame pulling nothing. Basically, what he's doing there is the enemies before you do the orb or minigame, or whatever you call it. The enemies are actually up there. Like they are in the game. They're just like hidden up there. So he's able to like kill them before they even move. Like they're just up there and invisible, just chilling out, maxing the corner. But since we have level swords, you're able to make our way up there and just like murder them before they even get a chance to do anything. And it makes this orb so much better. This orb sucks otherwise. Spyro just facing the wrong way. Disrespect. Disrespect for the orb in general. He doesn't even want to look at it. It's disgusting. Blech. Worst orb in the game, but done nice and fast. So if you're worried about that orb and how he's going to do it, that's how he did it. Because I'd say it's pretty notorious. It's pretty lame, especially in SRT. I don't know. I just think it was a really bad orb. But we get it done nice and early, and of course at record speed. And now we're basically running around here, grabbing these gems here. As you do. Not really much else to say. Just going ultra fast, just sit back, relax, and watch the satisfying movement brought to you by House. It's one of the worst minigames in Spyro 2. It is. It really is. I hate that one. Which is why I think it's sick when it's down at 100%. You could just like come out the game and just like murder. So nice. Was it a little Spyro icon on the lower right corner? Yeah, that's the autosave. That's like the symbol it makes when it's auto-saving, and it normally auto-saves when it grabs orbs and stuff. So, there is an auto-save in this game. Disgusting, I know. OG runners are spitting right now. Actually, isn't that auto-save in Spyro 1? OG Spyro? I don't think it's like an auto-save, I think it's like regular saving in general. I don't know, I can't remember. It's been a while. It's an old game, damn it. But yeah, that's Harikos. Again, like a really terrible level. I'm not a fan of Harikos at all, but at 100 we just rush for it. We're able to kind of exploit some of the stuff in it, which is really nice. But yeah, now we're in same as that one, Colossus? Yeah, Colossus, right. So we've already done hockey, so thankfully we don't have to do that. I don't think level swords even helps. I don't even know how level swords work in hockey. I think it'd be really like weird. Probably make it harder. This is probably why we do it nice and early. But having the ability to move at such high, fast speeds makes this minigame, or I keep calling them minigames, I guess they're just orbs, right? Makes it a lot quicker. Basically, again, we start this one early because it's one of those orbs that you basically kind of have to backtrack to the level, you have to go back for it. It kind of ends right at the beginning of the level, so naturally we want to get it done nice and early, and that's what we use our flight up for. Because again, as soon as we talk to the professor, being an NPC, we lose our flight, so that's what we're using our flight for. It's like a flight allowance. It's like, what do you want to do with your flight before you lose it? So grabbing this elevator, making our way to the top. Grabbing these gems up here. Oh yeah, the Alchemist in a casual state, casual like environment. Like, I hated the Alchemist, man. Especially because I had like no idea what I was doing. I didn't know which one's the bonk. You know? Any kind of like escort in general, I kind of hate. Like escort, like defense style stuff. Like, nah, not for me, man. Again, making our way to basically the beginning of the level, grabbing these gems before we shoot this final statue. Of course, being the final gems. which is quite nice. Again, it sucks when you're grabbing a final, or supposedly supposed to be the final gems, and you're like, oh, why did it not come up with 400 out of 400? What's happening? That's the worst. But yeah, now we're doing Idols 2. So, this level, we still got quite a bit to do, especially like, there's kind of like a puzzle. There's like a puzzle one that we basically got to follow around. And we've also got the fish one. I always like the fish minigame, I don't know why. I don't know, I just have like vivid memories of doing it in like OG. But of course, it's not the best minigame in a speedrun setting, because of course there's RNG to it, so. But we'll get to that when we get to it. So this is the hardest puzzle in the game. Very 200 IQ. House knows exactly what he's doing. He didn't even practice that, he just saw it and he went through his brain, he's like, how do I do it? This one. Easy for him. You've got to be a 200 IQ runner to run this game. But yeah, the fish one does have charm, I think that too. I don't know, and I think with like the OG, with like the colours of it, I don't know, it always was stuck in my mind, I guess. House get really unlucky though, like Jesus, he's just got 3 red fish there, that sucks. A 4th one too, holy moly, okay. He's up more red fish than the blue and yellow, that's pretty unlucky, straight off the back. Yeah, I can't remember in OG if it does or not. Again, like you said, it'll be the same anyway, I think. Either way. They nerfed it, it was too hard. Yes, it does change the swim speed, that's true. Which is what I thought was interesting, because the game thinks you're in a flight level. Right, so House purposely died there, his controller did not disconnect. He did actually die on purpose. As mentioned before, we lose flight when we talk to NPCs, so dying or exiting and re-entering is... what am I saying? Dying or re-entering also gives you flight. I don't know why my brain just like trailed onwards somewhere else. I was just thinking like whether it'd be faster to leave or not. I think the reason why it's slower to leave and re-enter is because of the cutscene that plays, and because of the timing method that we use for SRT, on PC specifically. We use like a loadless timer, and during the cutscenes it plays the loadless still. So. Oh, we have to redo the puzzle, right? I was thinking, is there another reason for that? Like, surely, because I reckon that's still like not that slow. Now that I think about it. Right, okay. So the puzzle has like, yeah, we gotta do the final part of the puzzle, that's why at the end of it. True. I don't know what it's... I've never seen this game before. You know? But yep, again, so I'm making our way towards basically the end of the level there. We're normally supposed to have killed enemies and grab the portal there, or power gate, whatever you call it. But we're just, again, we have supercharge, obviously, so we can kind of not have to worry about that, I guess, killing enemies. But yeah, here we are, the final part of the puzzle, which again, as Randy rightfully stated, the reason why we couldn't leave from the end there is because it would have reset that, so. Making use of the flight in Idols, definitely, especially with the fact that it's kind of another one of those kind of auto-scrolly levels, you definitely want to fly through most of it. But now we're entering here, Midnight Tundra, what it's called? No, not Midnight, Winter Tundra, I'm thinking of Midnight Gardens, aren't I? Names are hard. So now we're finishing off with the final like level before we do Canyon, I guess. Is Metropolis. The reason why we are doing Metro now, or Metropolis, sorry, not Metro, is because there was an orb requirement to get into the level, and because we basically did any descent up until winter, we didn't have that orb requirement, so that's why we do it basically last. I can't remember what it is. It's like in the 60s. No, it's not the 60s. What's all that? It's like 30 something orbs. 60, like Jesus. Don't know where that number came from. Obviously we didn't have the orbs by then, so naturally we're doing it now. Never once played Spyro. I'm just guessing. Who the hell is Spyro? But yeah, so now we're doing the Ox. Having flight actually is like massively most helpful thing here, but as you can see, Fireball makes the Ox kind of pretty easy. Don't have to worry about chucking bombs back at him or anything like that. We just stand. Kind of a pain, to be honest, that Ox without the ability to fireball. So fireball making it that easy is kind of hilarious. I don't know. I don't think he's the worst, but I know he does suck. Definitely. So again, making our way towards like kind of the final area before the UFOs, which is a pretty cool orb, I think, or 2 orbs technically. Technically 3 orbs actually, because you get an orb before then, which is kind of insane now I think about it. 5 orbs. But we'll be kind of managing the orb that's coming up with the fact that he obviously still needs to get gems. So we're going to see him kind of manage both shooting the UFOs and the orbs. So again, going to get an orb here for talking to her, then we're going to get another orb again for doing the first part of this minigame, and then the second orb for the last part of the minigame, which again, like I said, you get 3 orbs, so it's kind of insane. So simply just shooting these 3 sources here, grabbing this power up. So again, he basically has them, except flight, so he kind of needs it for flight really. But again, he's shooting some of the balloons here, because it's going to drop basically, and then he's going to be exploded on the floor, so he can just grab the gems straight away. 62 orbs, we are getting there. Definitely getting there. 64 in the game as a reminder. Again, kind of missed a little bit there. Can be a pain. It is definitely tough. Again, trying to shoot, because you're not just trying to shoot them, you're trying to shoot also the balloons too. It's very tough. Tough aiming. Super Fly Flame Gate. Through mad science, here it is. And then House comes forward again with it already. Is it, oh, you've just made that guy? I'm already there. I'm already a mad scientist. I could cheat the game. But yeah, now we're just grabbing these gems that was shot earlier. Now laying on the floor for him, nice and ready to pick up. Grabbing these, hopefully, final gems. Oh no, never mind, I forgot. What is gems up here? Sneaky place to put it on the little roof there. There we go. So that's the end of the level. And now, as mentioned, now basically we're entering the final level. So we're doing Canyon last. I actually forgot the exact reason why we did Canyon. Again, I think it's because it was just out of the way. I think that's down to the level storage actually. I think because we have level storage it might get rid of it. No, I could be wrong, I'm not 100% sure. I should know these things already, but so again, just basically doing it like normal. This is exactly how it should be, like we're in a flight level now. Oh, it glitches? Okay, I thought so. I thought it's time to do like the timer, right? Instead of it's counting like down now instead of that. Which would have bugged it. I thought it's time to do like level storage rather. Yeah, just basically just doing this level like normal now. Like I said, we're supposed to have this movement, so we're kind of right at home. We're doing as the game intended right here. Oh, we just missed that. Ah, okay. So basically what he did there, the reason why he did that kind of movement, at the end of flight levels, Spyro does like a fly in the air animation. And it turns out to be a lot quicker to, if you can clip into a wall or something, or like a ceiling, it'll skip the animation, go straight to like the end screen. So that's what he did there. That's why he kind of aimed into the wall the way he did. Again, saving time on loadless. Only a strat really for PC runners. Because on console we use IGT, the in-game time, and any sort of animation like that isn't counted towards the in-game time. So console players don't have to worry about that, but for PC we do. So the very, very final thing that we're doing now is this on-rail shooter. It's a bit anticlimactic to be honest, as this being like the very final orb in the game, but you know, is what it is. So this is the final orb, so I guess time will be coming up shortly. I can't remember when exactly the time is. I think the time is as soon as like grabs the orb or something, or after the animation. I think he's going to go to the IGT screen, he's going to bring up the guidebook and it will show the IGT. I think that'll be when time is. But there it is. That's the final shot, and that's the final orb, and that is the game. GG. That was an insane run. That's it. Time. I probably should have said how soon it was. Still running. I think it was like a 58, like 20 time. He was a minute ahead. Oh, look how sick this run was. He's just showed off his splits right here. Yeah, that was a really good run. He had a first cycle phase 2 Ripto, which is mad. Again, look, his PB is very good too. So he was only a minute behind in a marathon. That was sick. So good job, House. That was actually really well done. And yeah, and thanks for having me as well. It was fun to commentate. I'm still learning the game, you know, so I'm figuring it out. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yeah.
All right, GG guys, that was awesome. That was a really sick run. All right, that was the Spyro Reignited 2 100% run by DrHouse. That was, I mean, that time, sub 2 hours real time, 146 in game or loadless. That's a really good run. So coming up next, we're going to be having an interview. Hum is going to be interviewing HWD on Spyro prototypes. And so just a forewarning that this is going to be a pre-recorded run. So I believe we're all ready to go with that since it's all set up and done. So I think if we're ready, we'll just move right over to that interview.